Okay, folks, this is the episode everybody's talking about. Good old season 3, episode 8, Brothers and Enemies. What a bang. 7 out of 10. Look, I mean, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 for me. It really wasn't. I mean, trust and believe the ending at Belinda's place was really intense, but there were some moments where I'm kind of like, this is just the same old, same old. This entire season has been, where's Jeremiah? Like, where's Waldo? And then Zach being constantly lied to, and then him being irrational. But you can understand why. But he's just too far gone at this point. And even when people lay out the facts, Tyrone basically told him, hey, here's door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3. You can either handle things through door number 1, where you find your brother, whoop his behind, and then he potentially dies because he's on that stuff, and then you get locked up. Door number 2, you meet up with your brother, you tell him, I heard about the stuff you did, don't do it again or else, and then go about your business. Or door number 3, I can't think of an option number 3. I just put it in there because 3 sounds better than 2. But more to the point, we pick up where we left off. And Tony calls Nate, and he talks about how Jeremiah is over at Belinda's house. And man, it's some wild stuff. Because Belinda kicks Jeremiah out of the car, basically like, no, I ain't going to pull up to my door and people see me bringing a crackhead into my house. It's 2 blocks away, but you take Jeremiah and you walk. And they pretty much have, they're acting like an old married couple at this point. But Connie actually calls Fatima. And because, Connie's still standing out there. Fatima left. Tony said he's going to go to Belinda's, and Connie's like, oh, wow, crap. I need to find a way to get home myself. So everybody's heading over to Belinda's place, except for Connie. Now, over at the barbershop, Tyrone is asked by Tony to stall Zach. And basically, like I said before, he tells Zach to think about what you're doing. Or, think before you do something. Because you fight, you kill your brother, you go to jail for murder. Then your woman's on the outside. The person you claim you're doing this for, she won't have access to you at all. There ain't no Fatimas on the inside. You might be with a Malcolm, but no Fatima. Tyrone's a fool. But essentially, Tyrone just tells him the truth. He just says what everybody else has been saying. And like Tyrone said when Zach says, so, have you seen my brother? Yeah, he was here earlier, then he went that way. And it's like, I knew something about it, but I didn't know everything. And if I remember correctly, he didn't know the whole story. Like, Nate and Tony gave him a hypothetical without mentioning names about, like, if you knew somebody that touched your girl and nobody said anything, would you be mad if you found out? And then he knew about everybody going to look for Jeremiah, and Jeremiah came by with the watch, but he didn't know the whole story. So essentially, Tyrone is a semi-neutral party in this, but the fact that you have an old head like him giving sage advice that Zach isn't listening to, that's a clear indicator that he's just too far gone at this point. So Zach pretty much tries to convince Tyrone that this is the only way he knows how to do things, which is a flimsy argument. I just didn't like the fact that people kept saying in this episode and last episode, Jeremiah has a problem. Jeremiah has a problem. That's no excuse for him doing what he did. And like I said earlier in the season, Fatima should have told Zach or called the cops because dude's an addict. He attacked you once. Who's to say he won't try to come back and attack you again if he doesn't get that life insurance money? That's all I'm saying. In some ways, you can almost compare this to the Bryce situation, like the way people are trying to convince, what Bryce did to you isn't a big deal. Just move forward. And it's like, no, you need to. Why do people like Fatima, not just Fatima, but why do all the other characters get an opportunity to process things, confront things, but when Zach has a grievance that's understandable, he's told to just let it go? And then not only let it go, but the person who wronged him, forgive him and move forward, only for him to get screwed over again and his feelings are completely ignored. That's messed up. So over at I'll talk about this scene first. So Preston is leaving Zach another voicemail. Here's a weird continuity thing people are talking about. Wait, why is Bryce coming out to Zach and Fatima's house? At first, it all was Deja's, like maybe he has to use her restroom or something, but no. He actually has a drink from the back of Preston's truck and his cooler. And it's kind of funny because in episode 7, you could kind of tell, even after only spending a couple of minutes with Bryce, Preston is annoyed by him. But essentially, I don't know if he came out of Zach and Fatima's house or if he just went to the door to knock. And then, folks, it's just, you could tell these scenes are meant to fill up the runtime. So I'm not going to sit up here and go, wait a minute, does he have a key to the house? I don't care. I really don't care. But what we do know is that Preston knows more than his country twang would suggest. He basically brings up the fact that, they need to talk dividends and stuff before they sign off. And Bryce puts his foot in his mouth by, thinking that, people underestimate Preston because they think he's not smart because he's, country and whatnot. And Preston's like, no, people underestimate me because of my country talk and whatnot. They don't underestimate me because they think I'm dumb. But regardless, it's served in my favor because people underestimate me and I use that to my advantage. So they pretty much decide to just go back to the office and, try to figure out things with Zach from there. Now, oh man, Tony actually catches up with Zach and, he says, I'm here for you. I'm down. If you want to find Jeremiah or if you want to, beat him up, I'll help you out. But, Zach can see through the lies and he just leaves. So we go over to Sean and Angela's place. Angela's place where her boy toy Sean, she's just, enamored by the fact that he can cook. And he brings up the fact that, well, I'm trying to tell you I'm more than just, a piece of meat, your boy toy. There's more to me than a pretty face. So then Fatima comes over, mentions the whole ordeal about how Jeremiah is at Belinda's and everybody's going over there. Can you come? And I thought that was pretty funny because last week Fatima was like, girl, everybody's going to the hood because Zach's going to find Jeremiah or look for him. Girl, do you need me to come? Angela, if you come and something pops off, what are you going to do? Good point. And in this situation, I thought the same thing because lo and behold, later in the episode when Zach explodes, Angela just scurries across the room to be behind Nate for protection. So I thought about it some more, and then I think I realized what was going on. I think the only reason Fatima got Angela to come with her is due to the fact that she's not on good terms with Belinda. So it's highly unlikely that if Fatima came over there by herself, that she would just be welcome into the home. I know I got a lot of flack online for this last night or yesterday in general when I said that Belinda's place I don't think deserved to be destroyed, but I'll get to that in just a moment. So we go over to Belinda's and Jeremiah's up in the guest room or something. Nate goes up there to check on him and she's still mad about the whole thing. She calls Zach and leaves a voicemail. Your brother's over here. But she calls someone else saying, hey, do you still talk with Zach? Well, tell him his brother's here at my house. Who the heck did she call? Was it Karen? I don't know. But Angela and Fatima come over. And this goes to my point of why Angela was probably selected to come. Oh, yeah, she kicked Sean out. Hey, when I leave, you leave. It's but I haven't even gotten my food. Just get out. Okay. So basically, Angela and Fatima come in. And all I'm saying is I understand Fatima's not cool with Belinda, but I know if somebody came into my house and they were giving me the stank eye, they won't acknowledge my presence and whatnot, you get out. You ain't even coming in. Well, essentially, Jeremiah is brought out by Nate, and Fatima tries to, get him to realize, bro, come out of your high state, come out of it, because your brother's coming for your ass. If you don't if you don't hide, he is going to beat the ever-living snot out of you. And basically says, look, just stay here and hide out. And Belinda's like, no, he ain't. And, that leads to some friction. But long story short, they do manage to get him back. He's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And Belinda's like, Nate, take him to the guest room. So from there, oh man, it just gets worse and worse because the characters are just trying to scramble to figure out what to do. But the thing is, Zach knows. And then it's like, wait, who told him? And then they all look at Belinda. I didn't say anything. Nate looks out the window. He was looking scared to death. Hey, guys, it's too late. He's here. Boom! This fool kicks the door open. Fatima's like, don't do this. I need to do a separate video about this because anytime Fatima's telling Zach to stop, and I'm like, come on, Fatima, you did all this stuff. You've done all the same stuff that Zach has done in this episode. But in any case, flips over a table. I think one of the most powerful scenes of the episode is when he's gunning to go upstairs. And then Fatima blocks his path. And Zach is like, don't think I won't move you. I know you won't. And then he's so frustrated because he knows in his heart he can never hurt Fatima like that. So the longer people are holding out on him, the more stuff he freaks up. Throwing vases, and then he gets to the point he knocks over a shelf. Angela scurries across the floor, and I'm like, I should have stayed at home with my boy toy. What am I even doing here? Then he doesn't want to be touched by anybody. This is literally just a irrational, angry child. He's having a meltdown, but you can understand why. So then it gets to the point where break this vase. Tony's like, I can't do that, man. You said you were down for me, right? You do anything, and we find Jeremiah, we beat him up. Break it. I know you fake. And then he flips him like a freaking fidget spinner. And then Nate, he throws him against the wall. And in the midst of it all, he tells Belinda, like, you lucky I don't hit women. So then Zach takes it upon himself to go upstairs, Jeremiah! And while everybody's, going back and forth, oh yeah, because Belinda does say, I'm calling the cops. And Fatima's like, oh, you going to call the cops? Yeah. What you going to do that? And then I'm thinking, like, Fatima, if you would have called the cops at the beginning of the season, this would have been good. So next thing you know, gunshots go off. Zach is flying off the stairs like he was Jazz from Fresh Prince. And that's the end of this episode. Get down, Fatima. So Jeremiah either got the gun from Belinda's place somewhere, or some people theorize it's the gun Fatima had in her purse, but he jacked it along with the Rolex and the money. But it's just one of those situations where it was definitely an intense scene, that's for sure. The acting was on point, but the drama is at 15 right now. We know how things are eventually going to unfold, but I really want to know how things are going to be followed up at the beginning of episode 9. Why couldn't they have leaked that this week? So let me know your thoughts on episode 8 in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.